Welcome to the Inevitable Radio Show. I'm your host, William Sumner. It is another amazing day on the planet. I have some great things to talk about today. I am fired up. I have some new stuff that I want to cover with you and talk about, and I have some love that I want to send out on the show today. I almost lost a client in the past couple of weeks, and man, if you're listening to this show, or you listen to this show on a regular basis, or you're just floating by the dial and you caught the beginning of this, here's what this show is about. It's called the Inevitable Radio Show. My brand is the Inevitable You, because who you are, why you are, what you are, how you came to this planet, what you're doing here, what's happening to you, you have far more power, far more control, far more potential for many, many, many of you. My client, for whatever reason, he was doing well. He came to me in a normal setting and normal circumstances, and won a large battle that he was fighting, and within a week of winning that battle, attempted to check out, and it was tough. It was really tough. There's a lot of people that were affected by this. And here's the message for you today if you're listening to this. Whatever is going on in your life, pain, sadness, mediocrity, averageness, intense joy, ecstasy, you're winning, you're above average, you're both, it doesn't matter. What is important is that you have abilities, you have ways. There is much on this planet right now that you are learning about, that you are taught, that is traditional, that is conservative, that is wrong about how you are, what reality is, how you interact with reality. Think of this. 100 years ago, we laugh at how barbaric and backward people were then. They put leeches on fingers to suck vapors out. They did stuff that we thought was just lunacy. So ask yourself this question. 100 years from today, what will people look back at what we do today and go, man, can you believe how ignorant and uninformed those people were? I mean, you don't know it when you're in it necessarily. The first person that started talking about the earth is round, or that the earth revolves around the sun, people thought they were crazy. Now, in the self-help and professional development, personal development fields, there's been a lot of information. There's been great messages. There's messages that go back to, pre-Christ days. One of my favorite tools, because I like to research the field and I like to research other speakers, other authors. I like to learn, put things together. One of my favorite guys is Tony Robbins. I put together a lot of his stuff. I looked at one of the most powerful tools he teaches is when I researched it. It goes back to Aristotle and Socrates' days. It's an incredible tool about consciousness and competence. Most people believe that as they start to change or they start to work on a new tool, that when they begin to struggle, it's very easy for them to fall back and say, well, I'm not supposed to use this tool. I'm struggling with it. But there's a very logical, linear explanation of how the mind works and how you learn. And when you understand this, it makes the learning curve of going through struggle to master and perfect a skill. You look at someone and say, well, they're playing the piano. We expect them to struggle. We think it's going to be years before they actually can sit down and play, and we're okay with that. But you learn something at a seminar. You read a book. You begin to apply something. You use it for a time or two or a day or two or a month or two, and you stop. You quit. You say, no, I'm not very good at that. Yeah, no, I see that it's working for that person, or other people can be wildly successful, but I know me. I work hard. I struggle to be me. And I'm not supposed to have that success. I'm not supposed to have that greatness. I'm just a guy. I'm just a gal. I'm just getting by in life. I'm doing the best that I can. But if you're listening to this show, know this. It is far easier than you ever thought to have what you want, to be what you want, to create what you want, to make reality bend and work for you. You are not reacting to a reality that is happening. There is more and more and more scientific evidence building that that is not the case. That reality happens to you based on your beliefs, your programs, and how you interact with it. We know this. So sending love to my client. I wish him well. I wish his path well. He's recovering. You do not need to depart this planet early because you think that it is not your oyster, if you think that it's not your gift, if you think that you're not meant for greatness. Now, here's what I want to talk about today. The theme of today's show I've titled Neural Fingerprints. Now, neural is a very interesting word. Sounds big. Many of you know it. Some of you don't. Many of you don't completely understand it. It sounds like rocket scientist. It's not. It's just a term for your mind. What takes place in that little 3-pound gray, fatty, water tissue, gluttonous little organ that sits in the top of your skull that regulates, manages, and creates everything that happens to you takes place in 3 pounds of fatty tissue. It's got billions and trillions of electrical connections. It's got billions and trillions of patterns and programs running in there. The way the networks fire, quadrillions of combination. Every second, it is performing 4 million functions for you, none of which you're conscious, none of which you regulate. It just happens. That is your innate wisdom. And in your consciousness and what you know to be true, today's sunny, today's rainy, today's good, today's bad, life is up, life is down, you're going to be successful, you're going to struggle today. What you know about what is taking place, along with the other 7 billion humans that are on this planet. Neurology, neural patterns, anything to do with the word neural is merely discussing your brain, identifying the location that this action and activity is taking place.
Thank you for listening to the Inevitable Podcast. Please visit our website for more information on this extraordinary coaching system at www.theinevitableyou.com. Then, sign up for your 2-week free trial of our membership to gain access to hundreds of hours of amazing content and tools just like this. Now, back to Bill.
Now, I want you to think about a metaphor. What I try to do on the show is reach for metaphors, always constantly looking for new ways to explain things to you. Some people like, the baker and his recipe. Some people like Mr. Holland's opus. I had a really good thought this week. I programmed for myself that when I'm in the shower, that my greatest ideas will come to me. And sure enough, in the shower this week, I got to thinking about fingerprints. Now think about fingerprints. We know unequivocally that fingerprints are unique to us. We know that. We've been taught that. We think about that. We got 10 of them. Each one of them are unique. And look, a finger is just a finger. And multiply that times 7 billion people times 10. My God, there's a lot of fingerprints out there. And they're all unique, every one of them. But what are they made of? Loops and whorls. That's it. Loops and whorls. 7 billion humans, 10 fingers, each one unique, based on loops and whorls. Now, when you think about that, I'm going to apply this to your mind and apply this to your psychology and apply this to who you are. When you think about it, when you read about the 7 habits or the 3 principles or the 21 steps or whatever author, whatever speaker, and they're good stuff. Each one of them have categorized life the way they believe it to be, organized information into loops and whorls. So it's really simple for you. But the metaphor that I often use is when you have the perfect diet, you can give an overweight person the most incredibly perfect diet on the planet. They'll not follow it. They'll follow it for a day or a week or a couple of weeks, couple months. They might even get to their reunion or get through the wedding of their child over the summertime. But they're not going to follow it because they're not wired. Their programs, their loops and whirls that create success for them, that talk about their success, that program how they're going to achieve reality. Their neural fingerprint isn't built for success. It's not about the diet. It's about the psychology of the person that's involved. Success is not based on gifts or talents. Think about it. We know many talented people that are abject failures. We know many talented people that make it to the top and sabotage the crap out of themselves. And we know many untalented people that scratch, claw, fight, end up on top. And we love them. They're our underdogs. We go, yay, those are our heroes. Because they inspire us and give us hope that we could be on top one day, or we could be better than we are one day. But we run our programs and patterns. We run our thoughts. We listen to our inner voices that say, this is what my life is. It's good, it's bad, it's up, it's down. I'm above average, or I'm a superstar. But it's never based on, are you gifted to be a superstar? Is it the people you know that creates you as above average? What is it that makes you, you? And what it really is the loops and whirls. Just programs. Experiences, memories, voices, data points that you have programmed. That life is good, life is bad, it's up, it's down. I can look at this and know I can succeed. I can look at this and know there's no way I can succeed. Yet somebody else could be in the very same boat and maybe even be in a lesser position than you, and the diet works for them. The sales program, the sales training works for them. Why doesn't it work for you? Why does sales training not work for you? Well, you try it, you work on it, but then you don't follow the steps. You don't follow the 3 steps, the 7 principles, the 21 blocks of information that this author, this speaker has told you. I want you to understand one thing as you listen to the show. You are inevitable. You have a uniqueness about you, a gift about you. And what's so cool about thinking about neural fingerprints is the fact that while your fingerprints on your fingers cannot change, when you change what takes place in your mind, when you change your psychology, and that's what we talk about, and those are the tools that we work on every week, week in, week out on the show. When you work on those tools, you can be a better salesperson. You can be a better parent. Your love relationships can completely change. Your body can transform itself, and it could be easy. You just use different loops and whirls. You got the loops and whirls. There's not a person that calls on this program that doesn't have the loops and whirls. There's things in your past. I don't care how broken, how tough you are. And again, most of you that listen to this show are easily average or above average. You have a lot of success points. You have some not success points. You have some failure points. But you have a lot going for you. But the current way that all of these loops and whirls, all of these patterns fit together, and think about it, you have a unique fingerprint based on loops and whirls. That's it. And just slightly, the smallest turn makes you unique. So when you try and imply this author's 3 steps, 7 steps, it doesn't catch you. Because it's about this vanilla flavor approach that everybody, just follow these 3 steps, these 7 steps, but it's not your loops and whirls. It's not what works for you.
Thank you for listening to the Inevitable Podcast. Please visit our website for more information on this extraordinary coaching system at www.theinevitableyou.com. Then, sign up for your 2-week free trial of our membership to gain access to hundreds of hours of amazing content and tools just like this.